Dear students of class 8A and 8B, today I am going to discuss about the following points as I mentioned in the book. During industrial age, the countries who had developed, the countries which had become very much rich, very much prosperous, wealthy, I discussed in my previous class. Today, rest of the two countries, the name of the two countries the countries where industrial revolution also had become a part and parcel of their policy. The countries were Japan and Soviet Union. Japan and Soviet Union, these two countries, during industrial age, were unable to follow the technique and method of other countries of Europe. But Japan, a group of Japanese politicians, they toured European countries in order to gain knowledge of other countries of Europe. And ultimately, that group was able to follow the technique and methods of other European countries. And ultimately, country also became self-sufficient during industrial age. The name of that group was Hyakura Mission. That very mission traveled various countries of Europe, and then they received knowledge from there, and ultimately Japan became a self-sufficient country during industrial age. Japan utilizes all resources like oil, coal, transportation, river routes. By using it, Japan adapted a very good technique and method, whatever the Hyakura Mission learned while traveling European countries. They properly utilized it and ultimately became a very healthy, a very rich and well-established industrialized country during the late 19th century to mid of 20th century. Then another country, Soviet Union. Soviet Union also by the mid of 20th century became an industrialized country of the world. Soviet Union utilized her natural resources, raw materials properly. Its natural gas, oil, coal, turbines, and its all infrastructures, whatever they made for its all-round development, ultimately gave her success. So Soviet Union also became a very rich, prosperous, wealthy, industrialized country in Europe. Besides this, another point that is very important, this point is impact of revolution, impact of industrial revolution. What was the impact of the industrial revolution? Industrial revolution, changed the lifestyle of the people. The people who earlier lived in the villages, they had no education, no culture. They led a very orthodox life. There was no variety in their life. Naturally, and not only that, they could not earn a satisfactory amount and were unable to meet their family expenses. But during industrial age, during industrial revolution, these people people left their villages, reached cities and towns in search of jobs, and ultimately they were able to lead a very modern lifestyle. There came a wave of change in their lives. Ultimately, they became a part of the center, they became a part of cultural atmosphere, cultural environment, and they provided education for their children also. But uh, some uh, some people who had no skills, they could not improve their lifestyle, but still to some extent there came some changes in their lives also, and they were able to uh, uh, lead comparatively better life in living cities and towns. But in course of time, the drawbacks, the disadvantages of the factory workers, whatever they had been facing, the social workers, social reformers, by writing articles, by organizing movements, by conducting meetings, they were able to get it changed. And ultimately, factory owners were forced to uh, give a rise to their wages, and ultimately their condition became comparatively better. Earlier, their condition had become very miserable under the monopoly trade of the factory owners, of the traders, money lenders, rich people. But ultimately, during the age of protest under two social reformers, Friedrich Engels and Karl Marx, there came a rapid change in their lifestyle, and the stagnation, the unhealthy atmosphere where they were forced to live in their factory, in their quarters, this total system was changed, and they were provided with good, well lit, well ventilated quarters, and provided health facilities, and also laborers had become a part of a profit, so that they profit, and ultimately industrial revolution witnessed a new era under the uh, special care of Karl Marx, Friedrich Engels, and people became a part of industrial revolution, and they dedicated their lives for better growth, for better for rapid production, and for better supply of products in various parts of the world. The business, the trade also was flourished. A number of factories which were powerful, a number of countries which were powerful financially, politically, they all made their own colonies in order to utilize its natural resources, in order to utilize its other available goods for their own factories and industries. And then finally they also gave a chance to the needy people who required employments, who required jobs. They gave them a chance to be workers in their factories and industries. As a result of it, the the language, they utilize cheap labor. They got cheap labors in their factories and industries, which also helped them to be benefited. But ultimately, that system was changed only because of the Marxian age. The Engels and Marx totally brought a remarkable change in the entire system of industrial policies of the government, industrial policies of the factory owners, and ultimately the workers were given importance. and they all became a very important part of uh, industrial growth and development throughout Europe, throughout the whole world. The concept of imperialism during the first part of industrial revolution also had become a great factor. Now, concept of imperialism means during the time when industrial revolution took place, a number of European countries they required their colonies, own colonies, because instead of manual labor, machines started working. Naturally, they required many laborers, many apprentices, many skillful workers who could work, who could operate their machines and could produce good qualities goods, could produce bulk quantity of goods, and also supplied it to different parts of the world. Naturally, a wave also helped them to bring better production, to bring better success in the entire system of administration, entire system of industry or industrial policy. Naturally, this group of people helped them to be more and more rich and prosperous. So the machine-made goods flooded the large market of Europe. Now they required markets where they could supply their productive goods. That's why a number of European countries started occupying colonies. As a result, the concept of imperialism automatically formed among them. The concept of imperialism formed. I am discussing this point when the industrial revolution just started, and they were thinking of establishing new markets, new markets throughout the whole world, and occupying the large markets of Asia, Europe, and Africa as their colonies. And as a result of it, the powerful countries utilized the weak countries and decided to establish their colonies there. And hence, the concept of imperialism was formed among them, the concept of colonialism, the concept of imperialism. Both of the two things encourage industrial growth and development throughout the whole world. And the most important countries who got themselves benefited with it, I have discussed about them. They were Britain, Belgium, Germany, France, and then Japan and United States. So these were the countries. They all got themselves benefited with it, and they adopted good policies and also encouraged other countries of Europe to follow their technique and method. Japan was inspired by them. They sent their mission, Yakura mission, to European countries. The government of Japan also was benefited with it, and ultimately Japan was able to establish herself to be a great country of the industrial revolution. Although the process came late, yet Japan did not leave any deep. Japan leave no stone unturned. Japan left no stone unturned to achieve success, to reach his goal. And ultimately Japan, from Asian country, proved to be successful countries of the world whose industrial growth and development took place during the later part of the industrial revolution. And Soviet Union also started her industrial, framing her industrial policies later part of the 20th century. But still, yet, Soviet Union also was able to be a rich and prosperous industrialized country during the mid of 20th century by utilizing her natural gas well, and water, and good transportation. Ultimately, it gave them success achievements, and see this country became a very, very rich industrialized country in the world. Up to this, my dear students, thank you.